Okay, TryHackMe is released a new room for us. This is network device hardening, and this room is giving us some information about network device and how come we are using this. If you remember or if you watched my other videos, we are generally looking for the network room and network challenge on TryHackMe. So now it's time to be under it's time to be getting some information about this room and how it's gonna be working. How can we're working with firewalls, modems, and network, something like that, routes. It's all about things I think is gonna be here. Now it's my this is the 6 month no 6 months. It's 6 minutes ago as network room is released. So now if you're ready, we can go and solve this room together with detail explain it. So the first of all we have to be know about it. Network devices are building blocks and backbone of today's contemporary and large-scale network and systems. The role of network devices is ensure reliable efficient transfer, filtering and management of data across or within networks. Many network devices range from basic layer on hubs or repeaters to layer 2 switches, layer 3 routers and load balancers, virtual private networks, and intrusion prevention systems. So if you are looking somewhere, if you're learning to Cisco, this means we have to be looking here the Cisco's tools with like the switch, router, or something like that. So we just have to know about it. What is networking? What are different type of network services? You can check it like that on TryHackMe's room. And then this is really cool, and it's actually giving us how is FTP is running, and for example is FTP, SMB, the other protocol, and how is it gonna be using for and how is it gonna be working on this network service. All right, network services. Open system intro and this OC model. There is an 7 layer. There's a 4 OC model here. You can check it. There's an first one, physical data link network transport station presentation and application, and this is so also model is really a cool room on TryHackMe, and then you can learn in order detail it. And the firewalls, we got the firewalls, the new on my YouTube channel. You can check the firewalls through. This is really cool. So alright, I'm ready to start the room. Yes, I am ready. Let me complete it and go for task 2. So it's giving us some information about common threat and attack vectors. Difference between network devices and endpoint devices. So it's giving us what is the difference between network and endpoint devices. Before proceeding with our actual topic, it is imperative to understand the difference between network devices and endpoint devices. Endpoint devices refer to any device that can generate or consume data on network, such as laptops, desktops, smartphones, tablets, printers, servers, and IoT devices. They are typically located at the edge for network and interact directly with user. The figure below shows a difference between endpoint and network devices based on their functionality, traffic, and configuration. So, for example, if the feature is function, this is a transfer to endpoint devices. Use it to access and consume network resources, and it's going to be working for network devices. Used to manage and control network resources is order. For example, is traffics, sources, destination, network traffic, and is transferred to network devices like forward, route, and control network traffic. For configuration, network devices has simple configuration, but endpoint devices, but network devices complex configuration requires special of knowledge. And it's gonna be time to examples. The endpoint devices is equal to, if we're gonna make an example of this the endpoint devices, this is PCs, laptops, servers, smartphone, tablets, printers, scanners, VIP phones, IoT devices, and smart TV is endpoint devices for network, is working on the network. But network devices is the router, switch, firewalls, load balancer, and gateways. I think we have to be focusing on router, switches, and firewalls to own this room, and it could be fine. Okay, common threats and attack network devices. So the unprecedented growth in today's information and communication technology networks has transformed the world and global village. On the other hand, it has also given rise of multifarious malicious activity by cyber attackers. As we have already studied, the various network devices, the backbone of modern IST networks, to ensure confidently and integrity and availability in our network systems. It's imperative we implement security hardening measure on these devices. Some common goals of hardening include protection from internet access attacks and exploit. For example, is enforcement of the access policies, prevention of data theft, and the continuous ability for critical system. Okay, so cool. The threat, for example, unauthorized access, is giving us gain unauthorized control of network device and then complete the network. So attack vector, we can attack in here password attacks for this unauthorized access and exploiting known vulnerabilities, and the social engineering or phishing attack trick the network administrations disclosing sensitive information such as usernames and password or devices. Okay, I'm just gonna be showing you what is unauthorized access on the yes, is something like that. Yeah, that's true. So we have in it's actually reject to us on a threat. Now it's reject to us access. Now we can give in here to the password attacks or C toolkit. That means our social engineering toolkit, and using phishings for unauthorized for this access. All right. Now it's time to denial of service. Those attack it's denial of service, and that means the those attacks is actually really too popular for the network attack. So this distribution of critical devices and service to make them unavailable to a genuine user. For example, flooding devices with fake requests, and that means there's a denial of service is Explorer is over there, the flooding devices with fake requests. That means that you can thinking about like that. For example, in the bridge, and you transfer the bridge too many cars, and it's giving us, but the car is fake, and it's gonna be actually what is that there's an traffic issue to the company or actually to the city or something like that. You can thinking about that fake requests and exploiting vulnerability logical or resource handling and manipulating network packets. As manipulating network packets, actually we have know about it with HackMe we are using on AMAP. Okay, man in the middle attacks, and intercept the network requests the two parties by masquerading as each other steal sensitive information or alter manipulate the request. For example, ARP spoofing and DNS spoofing or redo access. So I'm just gonna show you guys what is man in the middle attack. Okay. Yes. You are in the man in the middle attack, and you have the access web application and have the access to user. And if you are to access the reject the user access on web application, you have to be compromised both of them to your web application and user. And then you actually to do access to do it easily. So it's so basic. I'm gonna show you in this room, I think. Then privilege escalation. We know about privilege escalation. Weak password user saving for user and exploiting vulnerabilities. Generally, we are looking for in this GovTokens, if you remember, and misconfiguration is over there. And bandwidth to theft or hard linking is like those attacks, malware attacks, and scraping large volumes of data. Okay. The device that user control and manage network resources is called, you're gonna hear, actually we're gonna read here, and this is no. The device that user control and manage network resources is called is something like routers, switches, firewalls, load balancer, and gateways, and that means this answer is equal to network devices. Yes. Okay, it's correct. A threat vector that including distribution of critical devices and service to make unavailable genuine user callouts. That means they're manipulating for packets and then sending or target company fake requests, and that means this is equal to denial of services. So I think his answer is denial of services. Yes, that's correct. Okay, now we are some information about this the here common threats and attack vectors and of network devices, And we have no actually there's some information about endpoint devices and network devices is over there. So that means that we can go task 3 now. Okay, general techniques. The first one, updating and patching our network server. Ensuring the latest version, the operating system is underlying application of devices system is installing regular security patches in core hardening measure. Outdated operating system and applications contain vulnerabilities that attackers can exploit. And that means you have to be updating and patchings using the patchings on our network server, and it's a best actually antivirus for your computer or something like that. Okay, disabling unnecessary service and ports. For example, I'm generally using for the mmap scan. There isn't too many ports is open, and it's really not good, because if you are now, for example, you just have to be and then 21 FTP port, 22 SSH, and 80 is the HTTP, and 43 is a HTTPS port. It's actually the other things is not necessary. If you're using the Windows, you can use actually 33 and 89. So you have to be disabling unnecessary service and port. Turn off all unnecessary service and block all ports, physical and virtual, that are not needed for system functionally. This will reduce the attack surface, minimizing of the number attacker can exploit. The second one, you have to be disabling unnecessary service and ports. Principle of least privilege and POP. Restrict user and process the only minimum necessary permission required to perform their function. Yes, that's true, because you have to be looking your principle of privilege escalation. For example, you're a cybersecurity analyst and some company. You have to be giving this non-access to some user can, as for example, changing password and changing SMB protocol. The number of the port is over there. You have to be actually users for the one. So it's really cool. Principle to last privileges. It have to be on your company. And the logs monitoring. Implement a log monitoring system on monitor for unusual activity or security events. Yes. Backup regularly. You are generally using the backup on your system. You have take routine backup system and configuration. They can help recover from a security instance system failure. For example, in the government is generally using backup regularly too much. And enforcing a strong password. You have to be know it's actually to be know about is going to be the high school student. Multi-factor authentication. MES is giving us for example, multi-factor on your Instagram or something like that. You have to be some accessing with the other ones. Okay. In-person secure protocols. You can check in network protocols in this room. Okay, network security protocols. I'm not gonna be show this. Okay. I will solve this room after this video. Okay. Remove and blocking insecure protocols, for example LDAP, RDP, and CSP. In addition to using secure protocols, removing and blocking access to insecure protocols is equally essential, which will decrease an attack surface. Most important are protocols that is transmit data attacks without encrypting them, like FTP, HTTP, Telnet, SMTP, and more. Moreover, there are inherently secure protocols there's moreover than are inherently secure protocols LDAP, RDP, and CIPC. However, they can allow attackers exploit the network configured incorrectly. So that means there is an encrypting without encrypting protocol is FTP, HTTP, Telnet, and SMTP. You have to be blocking that, and you can use for them is like LDAP, RDP, and CIPC. So it's really cool the giving this information to us. Okay, now implementation, monitoring, and logging controls. Logging in the network devices is essential for detecting and investigating security incidents, identifying perform issue, and complying with regulatory requirements. It provides record of the events activities on device, which can use for troubleshooting, forensic analysis, and auditing purposes. The following techniques are generally used for logging: system log. A protocol is standardized transfer of log message with purpose storing that analyzing log members in central server. SMP Traps are notifications to network devices that can management system when a predefined event occurs. NetFlow, a protocol used to collect and analyze network traffic data for monitoring and security analysis. Packet captures, capturing network traffic and storing for analyzing using a tool like Wireshark. Okay. Suppose you're configuring the router. Which are following could be considered an insecure protocol? Not HTTPS, FTP, SSH, and IPsec. I think it's some FTP because it's FTP not encrypting the data. Yes, that's correct. And the protocol for sending log message, the centralized server for storage and analysis is called as a system log. Yes, that's correct. Now, time to go hardening virtual private networks. So and then we are looking for routers, switches, and firewalls, and more techniques to this, and important tools for network monitoring here. Okay. Alright, let me go to task 4. Okay, we have to be start machine here. Okay, I'm gonna be started before. And virtual private networks, VPNs. Alright, the VPNs is so cool. Are now be needed in the age of remote work, online communication to protect sensitive data and to preserve the privacy. Yet hardening VPNs crucial ensure they essential as cyber attacks continue to develop. Hardening VPN entails adopting additional security measures such as multi-factor authentication and encryption techniques to make it more challenging for hackers to access the network. By taking extra precautions, business can after safeguard the data and defend cyber attacks, raising their security level and bringing them more peace of mind. Okay. Now connecting the machine. You have to start machine and show split view. Alright, I'm just gonna go there. I should say here show split view. I think it's time to go to here. I'm just gonna say here the chat GPT or gonna be using that. I think we have to be using chat GPT to here. And okay. Start hardening practices. Usually of the VPN server consists server-side, client-side configuration through standard config file. System administrators must understand the file's content and add it is per best security practice. You will be using the following commands in the upcoming exercise. The OpenVPN server config file located on this. Alright. Just let me go cd etc and then go to OpenVPN and then to here server configuration. Okay, just go there. Yeah, that's true. Say ls. Yeah, there is an server configuration is over there. Now I think we have to be cat this before looking on this info. Yep. Alright. So it's giving us the here and then sudo nano etc the server configuration. Then once you may change this file, press Ctrl O and hit enter. Then press Ctrl X to exit. The command sudo system restore OpenVPN server at service can restore open service again. Use strong encryption algorithm. Configure the VPN gateway to use strong encryption to protect this transit. The cheaper directive the config file can be used to select encryption in the schema. The possible option cheaper includes is over there. The below IAS, Blowfish, Camellia and more. For example, AES-128 and CBC. Mod is means in as encryption algorithms with a case size all like there. And typically considered for strongest cheaper encryption. That means it's an this is a strongest difficulty for this Zimmy value for cheaper encryption for it. So okay. So giving a flag validity here. All right. Copy. What? So, okay. All right. Cheaper option can be modified. Okay. Keep VPN gateway the software up to update. Ensure the VPN gateway software is always updated the latest security patches and updates. Every VPN software has a different method for it. You can use the upgrade OpenVPN here. We are actually here is 64 is something like that. We are generally using this. So there is an TLS script myk. Alright, I understand. Now, so okay. Sudo no here. Sudo nano etc and OpenVPN server to server configuration to here. We have to be updated on SSH for what? Oh, okay. Alright. I'm just gonna go there and change with SSH 512 to here, and then controller O enter and controller X to here. Now I'm gonna say cat to the this. Alright, now and use here sudo system ctl restaurant start restaurant to open VPN test server at server dot service. What? No, it's not gonna be working to here. Okay, sudo apt upgrade OpenVPN to here. Alright, yes. And then we are just changing here to SSH and doing other things what we're doing here. And then now it's time to be generate a secret key and then inject into it. Okay, TLS secret crypt my key and use this chain to TLS version. I think it's take time too much. I'm gonna stop this video now and then the continuous and I'm ending. Alright, it's giving us a second flag to here. If you're actually changing here the authentication SSH, is giving us the flag TryHackMe authent updated and 1 2 3. And if you're here changing cheaper like that, this giving us this flag. Okay. And then now change default settings. Change default username and password something unique here to reduce the risk of the unauthorized access to VPN gateway. So times is enabled to perfect forward secrecy, perfect adverse and secret PFS in OpenVPN generates technique session key. For each session is strengthened the security VPN connection. Because on this event the hacker successfully obtained the access session key. Okay, that means that we have to be changing here the station key, and then for each station the PFS generates a new set of more challenging the attackers spoof in the VPN connection and steal sensitive data. We can use TLS script directive with OpenVPN configuration to file enable PFS. Alright, there's an TLS script. Yep, there is an TLS scripts and is giving us tc.k. Now we have to be changing, and sudo openvpn --gen k. The secret in my case should be placed in the same directory in the server. Choosing an appreciate cheaper result like cheaper ISS. No. Oh my god. So all right. Sudo open VPN to -- generate the key and then -- secret to hear my .k. So okay, there is an giving us as per config file what is port number OpenVPN server. This is equal to port 1194. There is no challenge to us. There is just giving to us. We just have to be looking for the server configuration. Okay, I'm just gonna close this and go for task 5. I think it's giving us some challenge to we have to be doing. Okay. Routers and switches must be hardened for network infrastructure to secure and reliable. Every networks need routers and switches, often the first line of defense against potential security risk and attacks. By hardening these devices, we can lower the possibility of unauthorized access, avoid data breach, and ensure network service availability. Improve network performance, increasing resilience against cyber attacks. And regulatory compliance are the main advantages of hardening routers and switches. Routers and switches without enough to hardening are susceptible to various attacks, including denial of service and network profiling. So we just have to go this URL and the username and password TryHackMe. Okay, I'm just gonna go there, and then the password is TryHackMe. Okay. Now we have access to do this, and then loading view. Recommending hardening techniques. Settings up device. While setting up any network's device, it's necessary to fill in relevant details like host name, time zone, logging, and more. This features assist conducting the incident handling case of the compromise. For example, logging must be enabled to log all events with the default debug. Similarly, time zone and time synchronization must be accurately properly correlate events to their occurrence time. You can enable to modify the settings system and go here to system. Alright, we just have to go there and say system and go there system here. So it's giving us a system with. Now we have to be changing something about the system for can access the more strongest as for switches and router. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna go. It's waiting for the loading view. It's giving us what is default SSH port configured for open write attached VM. Updated password of router to TryHackMe 123 and then it's gonna be 22. Alright, but we have to look at. I just guess. Alright, to notes, it's giving us to here to general settings for system properties. For example, to system properties on the system, the general settings is giving us a local time and the host name. For example, you can change the host name for security because it's OpenVRT, is actually T is on the valid credential. And it's giving the description here. The other things you have to be changed time zone UTC. It's giving us executed for the attacker and confuse her mind. And the logging here. Alright, system log buffer size, and it's giving this system log server and system log server port. This is in the UDP port, and it's giving size 514 port here. And time synchronization you can change it here. And language and style is over there. I think it's the first flag we have to be copy this and giving us something like there. And then update password for router to TryHackMe 123. We can actually do this another time. Now you can say the save and apply to here for save it. There are no change to save. Okay, we have to be changing something like, I think it's not, but I'm just looking to here. No. Okay. So what's next? Now the challenge default credential. This is two important things you have to be doing on your network devices. For example, a router and this actually for the another things to here. Usually the admin web interface is protected through a username and password, and that's true. And people tend to ignore changing the default. A threat actor can access router's admin's interface and compromise the real network using default credential. We can change default password with OpenVRT truth. Yeah, I got it before, if you remember. I told you. And go for it here, system administration, and enter new password and click the save button. So I'm just gonna go to system and administration for changing password. I'm just gonna give here the new password, TryHackMe123. Yes, that's correct. And the other things, I'm just gonna give one more time to TryHackMe123, and then save it. And then the system password has been successfully changed. You have to be giving the router password here too many. It's actually you have to be changing passwords as the two strongest. For example, you can use the forfeit password. You ask ChatGPT, give me a strong password. Yes, for example, you have to be use this and then save it on your system. Okay, now we got it. And just looking here, SSH access. Then SSH access for this answer this question, you have to be check it actually to here and looking for which port is using for SSH access to here. All right. Enable secure network protocols. So it's using the enable to your network protocols for network device to maintain constantly integrity and availability of network traffic. Secure protocols must be enabled. Secure protocols like HTTPS, SSH, and SSL/TLS offer encrypting authentication mechanism to communication stop unauthorized access and eavesdropping. By enabling secure protocols or router, you can reduce this data breach, man-in-the-middle attacks, and other security threats. You can enable SSH openware system administration and SSH access. Here it's giving like that. So dropper instance. For example, they are using for this port and SSH this 22. Now it's not good because this 22 is port is default scripts for mmap. And if we're starting scan, there's not all port here. And you can if your SSH access and SSH protocol is running on your system for port 22, it's giving us the attacker immediately. But if you're changing this with another SSH protocols, actually you can ask this ChatGPT, what is SSH protocol port numbers. That means, or you can use actual 2222 here and AD 22 exactly. So alright, I can select the interface port number and click save and apply. Moreover, can also specify SSH keys or passwords for login. Okay, now it's time to get SSH key for changing password, and now you have to be add key to here on this ID RSI pub file. Alright, so public keys allow for password as SSH login with a higher security compared with using for applying password. In order to upload the key devices, paste and open SSH complete public key or drag the .pub file input to field. So okay, alright. This enemy question is over there. What is default system log buffer oversize and is attached VM is 64. And what is starter property for script UHTTPD? Alright, disabling unnecessary scripts. This is actually you have to be doing the first time, because it's if you're disabling for unnecessary scripts, it gives an attackers too much things and confuse it for attacker. You just have to be secure all of things here. Alright, it's giving the priority for the port and you have to be changed this. Almost every network devices executes some startup scripts to provide better user experience to the user. For example, the cron tab is executed on startup to verify and execute any cron job. Threat actors try to gain persistence and access network device by adding their malicious scripts on the startup. We can add remote startup scripts and system startup here. Our system go for startup for changing some router and switches that are scripting here. Securing Wi-Fi. What is securing Wi-Fi? If the router Wi-Fi capabilities, securing Wi-Fi enabling strong encryption like VPA2 and VPA3, disabling SSI broadcast, and changing default password and more. Alright. Now here we just go to here. And then what is the starter property for script UHTTPD? You just have to be looking here. UHTTPD is 50. You know, it's so important to us securing Wi-Fi. For example, if you're hacking Wi-Fi before, we just have to be looking here SSID and using brute force attacks with using it on in Linux terminal. So it's so basic the hacking the actually team Wi-Fi password, because it's generally is the people using the default password to do here on the network services, and then if you're the hacker, it's not actually to the almost you have to be do it for just changing default password. You have to be doing disabling SSI broadcast. This is the most important things for secure your Wi-Fi password, and then you just have to be enabling for encryption file this VPA2 and VPA3. Okay, now it's kind of time to go hardening route to switches, firewalls, more techniques to here. Alright, that's cool. We got things to task 5. Now it's time to be solved task 6 to here. And then let me read it. All of things here. Recommend harden taxes. Management traffic rules. Network devices allow you to create and implement traffic rules, accept and deny network's traffic. For example, we noticed this that the user are connected with our network devices being exfiltrated to command control server IP addresses. We can create rule of block of all traffic where the destination IP matches the attacker's command and control server. We can add a traffic rules truth. No, you just have to go network, firewall, and traffic rules to here. Alright, network, firewalls, and then traffic rules to here, changing for traffic rules on our system, and then click add to create the new rule. Okay. It's gonna be something. What is name of rules of accepts ISMP traffic from source 1 and destination zone as this device. Check the router's firewall traffic rules. Okay, go here and then we just have to be looking for from when port is 9001 to LAN port. No, it's just here, or not to this one, and destination zone is this device. We just have to be looking for it. It could be the one and this device. Just look it for ISMP, and there is an ISMP to here. Forward protocol ISMP to this device. The incoming IP will for the one this device. We just have to be looking here to root. Okay. Allow the dash ping to here, and if I'm gonna say edit to here, protocol is in device, the advanced settings, term restriction, no, general settings, allow to ping, and action is accept. Okay, let me dismiss to it. I have actually some. For example, the allow ping, it's it can actually to route to here because we are actually checking for an it's IP vol for only. So I'm just gonna try this allow.ping dash ping. It's correct. What's some narrow ISMP traffic flows on the zone this device? How can I check it? Because there is 3 ISMP protocol column. Okay. What is name? Okay, we just have to be looking for the another things to here, right? Are we gonna be there? I think no. Okay, to go there. Where is us? We just have to be go there. If you're checking the status, monitor traffic is as a network administrator keeping track of network traffic like uploads, downloads out the data, different intervals is essential. For example, you have an excessive data uploaded from another email service to an unknown IP address. Such alerts enable to remedial the measure to stop the data proliferate timely. Usual network devices that provide real-time graphs monitoring by traffics. We can view real-time traffic statistics on status real-time code traffic. So it's giving us something like that. Now if we're checking for the here network port forwards, well, let me check it. It's giving us that something is already our system schedule tasks is giving us schedule task to here. Person of number system APK package. Now what is configuring the port forwarding? For example, in this forwarding on the port to the 9001 is 9003 is a TryHackMe is under dash port here. So that means our this answer equal to TryHackMe underscore port here. So okay, that's correct. And what's actually the port forwarding means? The port forwarding means is configuration of firewall's port forwarding capability enables inbound traffic from the internet or other sources can be routed a particular device service on internal network. The firewall can send incoming traffic to appropriate the device of service to internal network, establishing port forwarding rules while blocking any other incoming traffic or does not comply with rules. This feature helps on host application that needs outside access. Granting remote control internal devices, port forwarding should be used carefully because it can be exposed internal device and service potential security issues, the improperly secured and configured. Threat actors could be add new rules for creating connection to external command and control service. We can configure port forwarding throws network file and port forward, and we got in here this to do this or something like that. So for I think looking for IP key, we just have to go to system software. Not startup. Go system software. Alright. What is version number for installing APK package? How can I be checking? APK package is 2.12. Alright, 2.12.2-1, right? Yes, that's correct. Alright, we just have to be checking on the system for giving for this APK file the file and then something like that to here. Alright, now we're getting action in additional things to enterprise environment. So this is so important, I want to be reading it. A network device deployed in enterprise environment generally provides increasing attack surface for an attacker to launch attacks. As enterprise environment including variety devices with different models, makes and types are there and no different rules and hardened network devices. However, a few important ones of mentioned below, configuring the port security. This is includes limiting the number for MAC addresses registered to the switch port and taking particular action whenever unauthorized access detected. And ARP spoofing is generally the most common vectors launching man-in-the-middle attacks on the network. And DHCP server, the attacker creates and spoofed DHCP server and get will later user for async IPS. And enabling IPv6, unlike this IPS built separate IPsec can provide continuity integrity, and moreover this will help to protection and man-in-the-middle attack here. Okay guys, we are generally our network monitoring tools capable detecting bandwidth bottlenecks. Yes. No. Yeah. Okay. Conclusion. I have completed this room. Now it's the ending this room, but I don't want to be ending the video. I'm just gonna be actually guys to here. I want to be teach you about this software, and then, you know, this is the software, not software actually. I just want to be teach you this how come you are using this tools to here overview to Lucy. So you can actually start it with this Lucy to here, Lucy network switch. Yeah. For open VRT, you can install it on the system to here openvrt.org, and then I'm just gonna here to guy and to teach you something about this actually on this tools. So I want to be checking it to start use process and administration reboot start up the firewall interfaces. Okay. Now we have nowadays network devices. How come we are actually using this and this network? For example, just let me thinking about like that you're working for the company or network pen tester. You just have to be using this like these tools. For example, this is networks for the routers and the another things are the balancers and switches. You just have to be know about this. So it's actually the complementation with the Cisco. If you're learning Cisco, you can actually use this correctly. But I want to give you some tricks example to do these tools and how can we working with network. The first one is giving us the for system. You just have to be know about all of things for system. For example, the system name and the model and architecture. For example, is architecture on Intel are the CPUs and there's a gigahertz to here. And target platform is on this running on X actually is running on our ARM, and that means our x89, no x86 and 69 to here, no 64 to here. I have no actually what I'm talking about. And the firmware version, you just have to be actually looking for how is it gonna be running. You can actually ask this to chat GPT and something like that. You just have to be know about it. Then the for memory and total available and use it, buffer it and cache it. You just have to be, you can actually change it all of things to here. For example, I'm just gonna go there, the systems, network, interval logout. So if you go here, the overview, it's giving us the viewer folder for this tool for your network. Alright. Why is it not slow? So it's not overview. We just have to be go. The first of all, I want to be go routers for show you guys some information about routers. How can you're changing password and changing and the forwarding to here and disabling to this immediately. Error. Why is giving this error here? Time it out. Dismiss. No. Okay, it's for example, if you go to here, startup is just giving a start priority to here for changing, but I don't want to be go there. I'm just gonna go here to system in the system. So, if you go here, the system properties is over there. You can change it login to here, system log buffer overflow and external system log protocol. You can change it with UDP but TCP, but UDP is generally is the most strongest. And you can change another things to here, but it's not very important. The most important thing is administration. You can change the router password here, and SSH access is giving us to which SSH port to here. You have to be changing with this. If there is a 22 port is it running on this, you can, because it's 22 is the default scripts. You can actually change it with another protocol, SSH protocol port number. For example, it's 2222 and AD 22. You can actually changing this default is over there. And then SSH case, you just have to be creating SSH key to here and ask this chat GPT, how can I create SSH case.pop, and it's get there. You just have to be given how can I using the SSH key -t there. It's giving a -b. For example, go your Kali Linux terminal, just say here SSH -k generator to here and give this -t RSI and -b is equal to true hundreds 48 and enter file to save the key. I'm just gonna say ID RSI and then enter password. You just have to be giving here password. It's user password. You just have to be doing here this strongest password. We got it before, if you remember. So I'm just gonna use this guy for password and enter same password again, just paste. Alright, and I'm gonna say ls is giving us ID RSI and ID RSI popped here. You just have to be changing with ID RSI the popped here and giving this paste or drag your SSH file to here, and then you have to be actually use this SSH password so strongest. The another things the important is over there. You just have to be go to here software. It's giving us this information to the software, and how come we're changing, how come we're using for on the network devices can add it this. So it's could be so important to us, and because it's in the software is everything. That means you are changing to here everything. You just have to be changing. For example, is AirMount NG, if you remember, and AirCrack NGs on the systems is cracking for this VPA case, but we don't. You just have to be actually using non-VPA. You just have to be using the VPA 2 and VPA 3 to the on your network devices. Alright, the another things to here, you just have to be go there. For example, and I'm just gonna go there the firewall, and it's generally is the most important things you about the firewalls information gathering. So if you remember the firewalls icon, I'm just gonna go there firewalls. Yes, it's like that, firewalls. Yes, the firewall's meaning is this: you just have to be protect your computer on this wall, but this will have to be more strongest ever in human history. So you just have to be doing your walls further here. Just have to go port forwards, for example, to do this, and which port number can be transferred the protocol can transfer the data to another the port number. You just have to be doing this for different port number. That means it's not to be it's actually it's 22 to 21, for example, SSH to FTP or something like that. You just have to be give there to, for example, the port number is 9001 and 9002. It's really cool because you can actually edit this on this port. You just have to be go protocol TCP to UDP. You can actually using that TCP, UDP and ISMP, and an external port you just have to be asking ChatGPT and go it and just change it your port forwarding on your system. And other things and to here is traffic rules. Traffic rules can change you. How is it gonna be using traffic rules to here? For example, for the WAN or in the VLAN or to on your devices, or the another to be using the network devices to here. So you can check actually they're looking for into the it. Yep. So for example, router, switch, firewalls, load balancer, and gateways to here. So it could be too hard to can attacker can execute this. For example, in one in LAN and the one in LAN one is these devices. Generally is not generally is the all the time is from the WAN. You just have to be transferred the file, and the NAT rules is over there. If you are having model on your game, you can actually checking for their NAT rules, and customer rules is over there. You can change over the customer rules in over there. Okay, guys, this is all of things I have to be actually to teach you. I'm gonna upload the video about at my YouTube channel for Cisco, and I'm actually explain details for the router, switches, firewalls, and all of things to here. I explain a detail guide. Okay, this is the end of the video. Thank you for watching.